Michael. I was also a teacher. I taught college at IU South Bend and St. Mary's, and having a teacher's soul, having a teacher's heart is really a lot of it. Our next performer is Daly. She also teaches here at TMV, only you teach the young little kids, right? Yeah. Wendy was moved by one of her friends to sing this song. Her friend wrote the song, correct? Mm-hmm. And I'm going to let her tell about it from there.
I love how music inspires other people and how someone like my friend Anna Drew, who I met through the Music Village, I was her son Max's vocal instructor, how words and songs can inspire you to be brave, or to contact that person that you needed to talk to, or to think about that experience that you still needed healing from. I was talking to my best friend last week, and she's been struggling with depression, and she's like, yeah, I've been talking to the doctor, and we're trying to get some medication figured out to see what I need, because I'm just not motivated to do anything. She's like, I can't keep my apartment clean, and I haven't been going to yoga. And I was like, yoga, you love yoga, and you're not going to yoga? And she's like, no, I haven't been going to yoga. And I'm like, that's like your indicator that something is wrong. I said, my indicator is that I'm not singing. As I sing all the time. Like I sing in Myers, like if you see me shopping in Myers, I'll be singing, because Myers is really overwhelming, and music helps calm me down. But there was a point in my life that taught me that singing is my indicator for my health. And it was when we lost our firstborn son, who was only 8 days old, to SIDS. And I found him blue and not breathing. Called out to my husband. As I handed him the phone, I started infant CPR. I said, call 911, Will's not breathing. And we only lived about a block away from the ambulance. So they got there in record time. The EMT flew up the stairs. If you could fly, it's like, I think she's part Flash. And she scooped him up, and she said, if you want to come in the ambulance, come now, as she's running down the stairs. So I'm moving as quickly as I can to get out to the ambulance. And we drove up to South Bend, and the whole way there I was praying, and I was like, okay, God, this is what, here's your time to shine, because I know you can do it. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I've set you up for success, God. Yes, I know the irony in that. Set you up for success. Here it is. And I wasn't crying. I wasn't panicking. I was sure God was going to save Will. But then about halfway up, the ambulance pulled over, and she came to the passenger side where I was sitting, and she opened the door, and she said, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. He's gone. And I remember so many things about that morning, but I don't remember how I reacted to her telling me that. Like, my memory is completely gone. I'm like, did I cry? Did I argue with her? I don't remember. My first memory after she told me that is we were in the ambulance bay, and my husband had arrived because he'd driven up separately. And we were in the ambulance bay where the ambulance is parked to drop off dead bodies. We were by the morgue. And the EMT let us hold Will. And my husband and I were holding each other and holding our son, and we were crying. And the EMT got yelled at because they didn't know what had happened, and they were worried that we would destroy evidence, and so we should not have been holding our son. But then, the funeral happens, everybody comes in, and they're so supportive, and they're so loving, and everyone experienced this loss with us. And then the funeral was, I was just trying to be so positive. And I was like, I'm so thankful that he was 8 days old. I had 8 days with him. There are a lot of women out there who didn't get to hold their children. And they never got to meet them. I not only got to meet him and get to know him, but I have a story to share about him. Who has a story to share about their newborn? Newborns, in case you guys don't remember or have never experienced a newborn, but they're like, they sleep and they eat and they use the bathroom and they cry. That's pretty much it. But Sunday morning had come, and I had taken a shower. We had skipped church, and we were just going to dinner after church, which is against the rules in my family, but I had just given birth, so my mom was giving me like a leeway. I had a towel on my head from washing my hair, and I leaned over Will. I was like, oh, I missed you so much. And I was talking to him and cooing at him and singing to him. And he looks at my face, and he looks up at my head, and he looks at my face again. And then he looks up at my head again. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're brilliant. I mean, who has a story about their 60, he was 60 years old at that time, their 60-year-old son that they could share? I was so thankful that I had him in my life. But then people go back to their own lives, and if you've ever experienced loss, you know that you have to start your new normal. And I didn't start it very well. I got depressed. Nothing really mattered anymore. And at one point I remember driving down the road and just thinking that it really didn't matter. We were all going to die anyway, and I should just drive my car into a tree. And I didn't. But the darkness is really scary. And I see people who are fighting with the darkness, and I know what that feels like. And I want them to get help. I had my mother who said, wow, you're really depressed. Let's get some help. Let's take you to the doctor. She's gonna prescribe some medicine for you, and then we're gonna get Wendy back. And so slowly, I have learned how to live with this tragedy and this trauma and to be a person. But it wasn't until I met Anna and she shared with me her story and how she's trying to live with her situation and still be creative and share love and art with the world and inspire people, that I realized I've been trying to live and hide that part of me, to hide that brokenness, when that brokenness is a part of who I am. And I can be happy, and I can have joy, and I can love, and I can still feel loss and pain. And her words that had nothing to do with my experience, helped me in my journey to heal from my loss. Because music is amazing.